Islam Dwayne Bay, Islam. It is approximately 3:30 p.m. It's September 23rd. I'm just getting off work. And I'm walking back to the, actually I'm going to stop by Whole Foods first. Islam, I'm also using my phone. I didn't bring my national headdress. Islam, I'll talk to you later. Hold on 1 second. I'll talk to you later. Oh, hold on 1 second. Islam, that's Wendy's. That's across the street from Burger King. Monty Gray-Bey is working there. He probably won't get off work until approximately 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. 9:30, 10 p.m. 1 second, I'm going to cross the street, then I'll... Hi, yeah, thank you. Thanks. No, I didn't have any more problems from the regular guests. No, I didn't. I told him, I said, stop harassing me. Yeah, that guy has been coming in for a long time. I can't tell you exactly when, but I remember he tried to bring up something about wearing about my hands or something about not touching his hands once before, if I remember correct. I think I documented it because he always sit at the table with the other males that are regular black males. They all look to be over 35, and many of them seem to be connected to or imply to be connected to the Navy, the Army, the military, or are connected to the Navy, the Army, and the military. So, yeah, I just straight up and said, I said, please do not harass me. Yeah, because I knew he was going to. I didn't know for a fact, but I could tell by the disposition of the guy, the male that they called Charlie, when he tried to call me Bay, and I'm pretty sure he said that because I asked him, what did he say? He didn't say it. He tried to use the word baby or Bay because he have tried to do that before, address me out my name. And I told you before, in the past, he has cursed me, just sometimes looking towards my way intensely. I don't know if he's looking at me. But you know, these males, they sit at Burger King at the restaurant for hours at a time. And the employees know them, the managers know them, the owner know him. Janelle know him, yeah, because he's the guy that Janelle is Chinese American, and her husband, unless they're not married anymore, I think that's her husband. His name is Paul. He's pale skinned. I don't know if they claim a nationality, but I remember Janelle saying she was Chinese American and pale skin. So because I was there when he told Janelle to tell her to put everything on the counter and not touch his hands. And I've been doing that, even though he has implied, he has reached out to try to touch my hand and give things to me. He has one time said he was speaking with a customer, another female that looked to be understood as a black African American, and saying that it wasn't him, it's me, in reference to handing change back and forth. But the thing is, these males, they sit there for hours at a time, and I try to serve them, and I'm going about my business. So any other personal relationship it's not called for. I don't know them, and they don't know me personally. So the calling me baby, hun, and all that, especially if you already implied to get aggressive, in the past, and you come in almost every day and you sit there for hours at a time, that is inappropriate. That's harassment. And so the guy next to him, who also had a hat on with a veteran, looked like it had veterans on his hat, veterans of some military branch, I'm not sure. He literally tried to say that I was giving him the money wrong. Tried to say something about how I was giving him the money right after the black male that called, they named Charlie, or respond to Charlie, used the word Bey and didn't repeat himself the second time. So, and I said, sir, I made sure I handed you the money the right way because I thought possibly this could be an issue. I know I handed you the money the right way. I was only a few inches from his hand. So and it didn't fall out his hand or anything. Yes, I felt harassed. Literally. It's not the first time. So, and like I said, many of them imply to be connected to the Navy or in the Army, or are connected to the Navy and the Army. And then that's it pretty much, except for actually I felt pretty good except for a few sharp pains around my anus. I noticed I worked with the manager, Miss Phyllis Thomas. The black male manager came in around, I don't know, I guess during my break or before my break, or about 10:30, I'm not sure, a.m. And a few times, simultaneously, I'm not accusing him. We don't have Imani Gray-Bey and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, we don't have the science of telepathy or any form of technology or science that we can cause sharp pains or send sharp pains. And I haven't had to go to the hospital since 2010. So I've been pretty healthy since 2010. I haven't had to go to the hospital for anything. So I don't know. I am pooping regularly. I'm not constipated. I drink a lot of water. Try to keep fruits and vegetables incorporated in my diet. But for whatever reason, simultaneously, I felt a sharp pain as the black male Thomas handed me some food. He said thank you and handed me some food, and I was like, I felt a sharp pain around my anus. And I'm not accusing him, but that's the spirit. Yes, this is a sign. This is just giving testimony. And then also, he was speaking to another customer next to me. He said, "How many?" And as he said, "How many?" I felt a sharp, dull pain around my anus again. I didn't feel that many sharp pains in my joints today, but I did feel that. So he's a black male. He's about, him and Mr. James, they both like 6'2", 6'3". I gave a description. Yeah. They're males. I was thinking they're pretty big. But anyway. But I don't know. I don't know what. All I can do is give testimony. I know we are among unclean spirits that are able to do these things, and that is probably the reason why the United States possibly rates 35 in health. It's not even considered healthy or civilized in reference to health amongst healthy nations. And once again, I'm not accusing them. I'm just giving you a testimony. Islam. But otherwise, it went okay. I worked with Diamond, the other black female manager. I tried to do everything she said. One time she asked me, it was me and another black male, Delray, on the register, and Delray was taking the order, and she said, "You need to turn around and take the person's order." And I was like, I had already saw him taking the person's order, and there were no other customers. And I turned around, and he was taking another customer, which is another black male. A black male, it just so happened to be a black male order. And I remember this, and simultaneously, because Mr. Thomas he said the word, we're the same. Hold on. I started to cough. I need to drink some water so I can keep telling you. Hold on. Also, the word lawyer came up today. Hold on. Let me stop. Excuse me. Let me stop walking so I can give you a full tell you what happened, and I can go through that. So, oh yeah, but well, Thomas was like, see, I remember what happened when she said it, because simultaneously he said we're the same, and but the reason why I remember, so I'm remembering, Diamond, I try not to definitely do everything she say. I don't want to step on her toes. So I was like, okay, maybe let me make sure I stay on the front line. Because if she thinks I'm neglecting the front line, the customers, even though there was only one customer there and Delray was taking his order, and I remember because he was a black male, she told me, she was like, turn around and take his order. And then as I turned around simultaneously, Thomas, the black male manager, said we're the same. That's how I remember. And I just stayed quiet. I was like, there's no more manager. And she was like, I need to watch what I'm doing from in reference to taking customers' orders. So then you know how I was telling you about how some customers will come in and speak the word lawyer? Well, this is odd. Today, actually, Thomas, the black male manager, was talking about that. He said it loud, so I couldn't help but hear. He said it loud enough. It's sort of like, you remember, like I worked with Hamima, the Spanish. Well, I think she's from Mexico, but I'm not sure if she's from Mexico or not. But I think she is. Which I told you she was saying paid real loud as that the new employee, Rochelle, that works at American Extended Stay, was asking me about my ring, and I was telling her I was married to Arrington-Bey, and she was asking me about my ring and that sort of thing, and you couldn't help but hear a few moments, Hamima, the Mexican, I think she's from Mexico, I don't know, she was saying paid real loud, like she was speaking to another co-worker, Kenny, which I work with him as well today. Well, that's how he was speaking. He said it so loud. He was saying about someone need to get a lawyer before they retire. They need to get a lawyer before they retire. And I was thinking about how I need, how I do. I was first, one of the thoughts that's now, and that has flown, is like when the customers come in and say the word allergic, and I go out my way to tell the cooks that they use the word allergic, or if they say if I have something such as mayonnaise, it'll make me sick, I'll break out. I'll go out my way to tell the cooks that at Burger King, because even though the sandwich might not come with mayonnaise, it might be a little mayonnaise on the glove, or you don't know, on the spoon, but it's just giving them a heads up to be careful. Don't do it. I mean, not don't do it, but don't just be extremely careful, because that could be a lawsuit. Or the coffee. I'm making sure the tops on the coffee cups all the way. I think everyone said it's okay to put the lids on the coffee. There's one customer still comes in today. I think they call him Nunu, but I'm not sure. He's a regular, and he actually asked me not to put the lid on the coffee cups. So when the black male Thomas was speaking about getting a lawyer before you retire or before someone retire loud, I thought about that as the thoughts flow, and see some of the other things I've done, like making sure that like if they use the word Impossible Burger, I say a Whopper, because there might be a burger out there that's called Impossible Burger, but it's a Whopper. What other things I do? I try to make sure I use keep my hands sanitized and try to use clean techniques as much as possible. I've had customers say, I didn't see you wash your hands, or you didn't sanitize your hands. This has been, this is in over 3 years of service working at Burger King. So I try to, I'm not saying that they say this to me, I'm just saying in general. So that's another thing I do, because that, cleanliness is important. Or using the wet sign when I mop. So when I'm out in the dining room, and just small things like that to try to prevent lawsuits. So when Thomas, the black male manager, was speaking about a lawyer, I was like, that's now you co-workers are saying, or employees are saying, speaking about a lawyer. So you remember I was telling you, maybe Annapolis have issues with people suing. And also he spoke of somebody getting out. They need to get out. I don't know what he was talking about then. This was afterwards. He was speaking about someone need to get out, so yeah, I truly don't know. I don't know any of them personally. I have never talked to any of them on a personal level, never hung out with them, never had a conversation with any of them or anyone in Annapolis, Maryland, and neither has Imani Gray-Hyphen, but we don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. Yeah, so well, once again, that black male that was tried to speak of me not putting the money in his hand the right way. After I told him, I made sure he didn't continue the conversation. He actually stopped talking, and then he left. So, yeah. Oh, you saw that tweet? Okay, now I can explain that. That tweet is about spreading diseases. Okay, you remember when I told you Khalid Muhammad Abdullah, that's another employee that works for Burger King, he spoke of how Annapolis have a lot of people in Annapolis have herpes. Well, I think, diseases start off spiritually first, and then they spread on a physical plane. So you have diseases that are not sexual transmitted, and you have diseases that are sexual transmitted. But if you are trying to gain access to someone's pineal gland, that sacred grove, then and you allow someone to enter that sacred grove with you, and they are unclean, disease on a mental, spiritual plane. Yes, it can manifest, because that is unclean. That is spirit. Islam. That is spirit. I think so. No doubt. Yes. Well, imagine how diseases can be circulated in a population, not just in Annapolis, but all over the United States. Remember, it's not even considered healthy among civilized, healthy nations. It's not considered healthy. And I should say it is low in health. So that's so what causes this to happen? We are among spirits that cause sharp pains forcefully. They're invading your mental space that can cause disease. People go, they try to keep a peace of mind. They might go to a psychologist to get a peace of mind and get on drugs, be diagnosed with anxiety so they can rest at night, so they can live and keep earning money, keep a roof over their head. So why is the United States is in the low numbers when it comes to physical health? That's the question, right? But anyway, yeah. Him just stating that Annapolis has a lot of people in Annapolis have herpes. That's just probably, once again, we're among those who have the science of telepathy that Imani Gray-Bey and I reject. Yeah. Yes, you're right. That we reject. So they're circulating that those spirits in the mental plane, having sex, doing all types of bestiality, and you can tell because you know how they act. Bestiality, having sex, raping, molesting, and they normalize these acts of terrorism. That's why, right? And that's why they quarantine them, because they know they savage. They know they savage. Yeah, and someone came in today with a Wells Fargo. They actually spoke to Miss. It was the Spanish speaking. They looked like they were Spanish speaking. Came in and spoke and asked to speak to a manager. I said sure, and they was had this thing about Wells Fargo on their piece of paper. Wells Fargo is a bank. I had another thought. Well, I didn't know what it was about. I just heard a few words that Mr. Tom was talking about. I think he said the owners got it, or the owners own it, something like that. The owners own it. Wells Fargo is a bank. They give out student loans. Yeah, many banks distribute student loans. I was like, gosh, I haven't seen that icon in a long time. It said Wells Fargo. It's just like this morning, this hospital worker came in. She had her badge turned around where you couldn't see her name, and I'm not saying she did it on purpose, but I noticed many hospital workers come into Burger King. Almost all their badges are turned around where you can't see their name, and you can tell when they move around, you start to see the emblem of Annapolis Medical Center. I think it's called Annapolis Medical Center. It has it'll show it at the thing. So she came in today. One of them came in today. Well, many of them come into Burger King. Just like they're still the same group: the United States Navy, the Army, the military, those that speak Spanish, whether from Mexico, El Salvador, South American. Pale skin, pale skin is not a nationality. Hispanic is not a nationality. And the African those on the status of, African American, those on the status of Black American, those are not nationalities, but that's what you would, if you want to describe them. The same groups, and a lot of them are work at the medical center. Many military people come into Burger King. And some of them be dressed in full uniform, and some of them, as they hand out their card, there's like a military credit union. I think it's USAA or UAA, something like that. UNAA. It's a blue credit card. So anyway, okay. Well, the day is September the 23rd, 2019. I don't know. Dwayne and I'll talk to him. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes. I told you the lady. She said she worked at American Extended Stay. The new employee. Yeah, she worked at American. Her name is Rochelle. She said I didn't tell her I live at American Extended Stay, but because she had on the shirt. She said she works at American Extended Stay. New employee at Burger King. I was like, oh, okay. She works at the Walmart brand facility, not the one that we domicile at. She said, she doesn't. I didn't tell her I lived at the one off of 20 Admiral Cochrane Drive, but she said she works at the Walmart. That video was okay. I did that on 9/11 when they were speaking about illegal organ selling. She also did. She didn't just. Okay, that was after. Okay, Mackenzie was speaking about the trillions of dollars that were missing. She said during the war. That video. That was live. That was a live video, and she asked about the trillions of dollars that were missing during the war games. Where did they go? Okay, and then they went back and forth. And then after that video, they spoke of illegal organ selling and sex trafficking. Oh, she spoke of sex trafficking. Yeah. So if your dreams are being manipulated forcefully, and people, and this is how people communicate, those are unclean in spirit, that can be a form of sex trafficking. Exactly. Because you're engaging on a mental plane and you're having sex with something. Kids can be done that way. It doesn't have to be physical. It definitely can be mental. And so that's why it's important to give testimony about it. Because these are acts of terrorism. These are definitely acts of terrorism. Spiritually and mentally. Yeah, so that's why I document when I hear tones, accents, whether they're the black Negro or blackie accent outside. I don't know what they call it, Negro. It's very odd saying I love you outside our room. We pay brother. So they did the same thing when Abbas was here, and Abbas was being spiritually attacked. Spanish accent and pale skin, yep. Exactly, we don't know anyone personally, but we are implementing the Constitution. Amending our birth certificate. Money went to mailed off to amend his birth certificate on Friday, and I'm doing mine next week with our ancestral name of Bey, and then we're going to continue. Yeah, you don't know what they mixed them up. These are experiments. You don't know what it is. But you know they treat them like animals. They behave like animals, like beasts. And so that's probably why they are possibly quarantined. Yep, they treat them like a beast, like an animal, and they behave exactly as such. Islam. So let me talk to you later, okay? I gotta go. Okay, bye.